Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. And just like I told you earlier in the week, it looked like Ricky Gibson was heading to UT, and it turns out that's exactly what happened. I think that was a really good decision.
Good. Very good.
That's right. It was a very good decision, no question. And here's his Twitter page. You can see he's got it listed. He did it on his parents' anniversary. And I know there's some of you out there that keep saying he's a three-star. He's a three-star. Well, let me show you this. Right here, Ricky Gibson, 4-star, right there.
Shut up!
That's it, right there, clear as a bell. Now let's talk about why he's a 4-star and not a 3-star. And here he is running the 40-yard dash. And this really, I think this is what got Georgia so fired up about him. This was electronically timed 4.38. And look at this vertical jump. Yeah, think he could dunk the basketball. And I showed you these highlights last time we covered Ricky Gibson. And like I said, he's very quick. He's a ball hawk. And you're just, once he's covering you, especially in high school. I mean, I understand this is high school, but there's no way. Look, there's no way you're going to beat this guy. And here, I really like this play. Now watch here. You're not going to outrun him. That quickness makes a big area interception. So let's talk about why this was a really good decision. And it's almost a numbers game, really. Think about whether you're going to go to Georgia or Tennessee. All right, if you come to Tennessee, first of all, you're going to get to play. And there's numerical reasons why. We have about 20 more plays a game than Georgia does. And our defense would end up playing even more of those 20 than Georgia, because Georgia shuts you down in about 3 plays. Whereas Tennessee, unfortunately, we don't shut you down in 3 plays. And our offense scores very quickly, so our defense is out there an extraordinarily long amount of time. If you don't think so, watch the Kentucky game last year. In the first 15 minutes, we were up 14-7, and they had the ball for 14 minutes. So that means the defense was out there for about 90+% of the time. So all those extra plays, multiply that times 12 games. Let's say it's 20 extra plays. Well, that's 240 extra plays divided by an average game of 70-something for the average team. That's about 3 to 4 more games a year that we have as far as number of plays. So there's tons more plays available. That's number one. Then number two, unfortunately, we don't have a bunch of 5-star freak athletes in front of you at cornerback, okay? In Georgia, you do. So the first 2 years, you can just be guaranteed you're going to be doing this.
I bet if I think about it real hard, I could remember my first pair of shoes.
Yep, you're going to be sitting on the bench talking about the first pair of shoes you ever wore. That's no fun. As a former athlete myself, I played at University of Tennessee on the golf team. I know that's completely different. That was back in the 80s, and, you know, it was very different back then. But you don't want to sit. You want to play. So at UT, he's got a really good shot of playing, especially with that speed and with the skill level that he's got. Now, granted, he's going to have to get coached up, and he's going to have to get in an SEC weight room. They'll probably put an extra 5 or 10 pounds on him. And I would think by year 2, he'd be ready to compete for the starting position, or at least to be heavily in the rotation. First year's probably special teams or something along those lines. Or he might, look, if you're good enough and you're fast enough, you got a good shot of getting on that field. You may be second string or third string, but you'll probably get to play if you want to. You know, may decide to redshirt. You never know. The freshman year is always tough. It's a bit of a shock to the system. But at least you've got an opportunity. At Georgia, it's just not going to happen. You know, less plays and freak 5-stars in front of you. And I wish it wasn't that way, but, you know, Georgia's not recruiting. They're pretty much drafting. And the thing that irritated me about Georgia getting in the middle of this recruiting was the fact that we were on this guy in February making an offer to him, and Georgia didn't show up until they saw he could run a 4.38. They came really late to the game, and I think that played a role. I think Gibson sat there and thought, you know, Tennessee's been there since February, and these guys show up at the last minute, and they pretty much did this. Yep, that's right. They came running at the last second, and that's not going to work in recruiting a lot of times. A lot of these high school seniors, they value loyalty and being there from day one and believing in you. So I think we showed him that, and here he comes. And that's going to be alongside Christian Conyer, who is another great athlete. Look, We got two great bookends. That's what I was hoping for. And we've got another cornerback that's going to be committing tomorrow, and I'll be covering that commitment. All right, folks, and if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover Vols, especially recruiting. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd certainly appreciate it. And hope you did like the content. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.